The millionaire stood beside her late father's rusted classic car with tears running down her face and publicly offered $500,000 to anyone who could make its engine come alive one last time. Dozens of expert mechanics had failed. Luxury restoration shops had given up. Then a quiet single father wearing grease-stained overalls opened the hood, spent less than 20 minutes studying the engine, and asked for only $15. Every person watching thought he had lost his mind. They had no idea they were about to witness a miracle that had nothing to do with money. Before this unforgettable journey begins, if you believe kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances can still change lives, please like this video, leave a thoughtful comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel so our family and our community can continue growing through stories that remind us what truly matters. Tristan Rowe had spent the last 5 years raising his 8-year-old son, Owen, alone after losing his wife to a sudden illness. He owned a tiny repair garage on the edge of town where old pickup trucks, motorcycles, and family cars found a second chance. Business was never easy. Some weeks he barely earned enough to cover rent, electricity, and groceries, yet he never overcharged customers. If someone couldn't afford a repair, Tristan often found a way to help anyway. Owen admired his father not because they had money, but because everyone in town trusted him. Across the city, Celeste Whitmore lived a life most people only imagined. She had inherited a successful manufacturing company after her father's passing and quickly multiplied its success through intelligence and determination. Her wealth attracted attention everywhere she went, but nothing she owned carried greater value than an old blue convertible sitting inside her father's garage. The faded car had been his greatest treasure. Every sunny weekend of her childhood had been spent riding beside him through quiet country roads. After his death, the engine refused to start. Restoration experts replaced expensive parts, collectors inspected every detail, and renowned mechanics accepted enormous payments before admitting defeat. As the first anniversary of her father's passing approached, Celeste announced a public event outside the company headquarters. She promised a reward of $500,000 to anyone who could restore the car. News stations arrived. Crowds gathered. Mechanics from neighboring cities lined up, hoping to earn the reward. One by one they failed. Some blamed rare components. Others insisted the engine had suffered irreversible damage. By early afternoon, disappointment had settled over the crowd. Tristan had only come because Owen loved looking at classic cars. They stood quietly near the back, preparing to leave when Owen gently tugged his father's sleeve. The little boy reminded him that he always said every machine deserved one more careful look before giving up. Tristan smiled. He walked toward the car with quiet confidence. Several spectators laughed when they noticed his old work boots and worn toolbox. Compared to the expensive diagnostic equipment already used, his tools seemed almost laughable. Celeste, exhausted and heartbroken, gave him permission anyway. Tristan never rushed. He listened carefully to the engine. He inspected a few overlooked connections. He gently removed a small fuel line that previous mechanics had ignored because it appeared perfectly normal. Inside was a tiny obstruction no larger than a grain of gravel. He cleaned it, tightened one loose connection, adjusted the timing slightly, and closed the hood. Moments later the engine roared to life. The unmistakable sound echoed across the parking lot. Some people applauded. Others stood frozen in disbelief. Celeste covered her face as tears streamed freely down her cheeks. For a brief moment, she could almost imagine her father smiling beside her once again. Without hesitation she instructed her assistant to prepare the promised reward. $500,000. Tristan quietly shook his head. He explained that the repair required only a few minutes and one inexpensive part. Charging such an enormous amount would never feel honest. Instead, he asked for $15. The crowd gasped. Even reporters stopped writing. Celeste believed she had misunderstood. She insisted he had earned every cent. Tristan simply smiled and explained that his father had once taught him never to confuse the value of a memory with the price of a repair. The engine belonged to her father. His memories could never be bought or sold. He had only repaired the car. Those words spread across social media before sunset. Millions watched the video of the mechanic refusing a fortune. People praised his integrity. Customers began arriving from every direction simply because they wanted someone they could trust. Yet success brought unexpected challenges. Large automotive companies offered Tristan contracts requiring him to close his neighborhood garage and relocate to corporate headquarters. The salaries were enormous. Friends encouraged him to accept immediately. But accepting meant spending less time with Owen. It also meant abandoning the loyal customers who had supported him through difficult years. While Tristan wrestled with the decision, Celeste found herself thinking constantly about the man who valued honesty more than wealth. She visited his modest garage a few days later. Instead of finding someone chasing publicity, she found Tristan teaching Owen how to repair an old bicycle for a neighborhood child whose family couldn't afford a new one. There were no cameras. No reporters. Just quiet kindness. Celeste realized the viral video hadn't revealed the best part of Tristan's character. This was. Over the following weeks she returned often, sometimes bringing coffee, sometimes dropping off old company vehicles needing maintenance. Gradually she learned about the years Tristan spent caring for his wife during her illness, the sleepless nights raising Owen alone, and the dream of expanding the garage into a training center where struggling young adults could learn mechanical skills. She also confessed something she rarely admitted. Despite her enormous success, she often felt lonely. People admired her fortune but rarely cared about the person behind it. Tristan never treated her differently because she was wealthy. He asked about her favorite childhood memories, her father's advice, and the places she still hoped to visit someday. For the first time in years, Celeste felt understood instead of admired. Months later, rather than secretly donating money, she proposed a partnership. Her company would fund vocational scholarships, modern equipment, and a larger workshop. Tristan would continue running the business exactly as he believed it should be, with honesty, fair prices, and opportunities for families needing hope. The new training center quickly became known for changing lives. Young people who once struggled to find work learned valuable skills. Parents found stable employment. Families rebuilt their futures. Every graduate received one lesson before receiving a certificate. Integrity is worth more than talent. One sunny afternoon, the restored blue convertible returned to the garage. This time Celeste wasn't asking for repairs. She invited Tristan and Owen for a drive along the same countryside roads she had traveled with her father years earlier. As the wind carried laughter through the open windows, she realized the greatest gift Tristan had given her wasn't fixing an old engine. He had repaired a broken piece of her heart. Before this story comes to its heartfelt conclusion, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment telling us whether you believe honesty is more valuable than money, or share a moment when someone's kindness changed your life forever. As the afternoon sun settled gently across the open fields, Tristan understood that choosing integrity over wealth had brought him far greater rewards than he ever imagined. Celeste discovered that the richest people are not always those with the largest bank accounts, but those whose hearts remain generous despite life's hardships. Owen grew up witnessing a lesson he would carry forever, that true success is measured by the lives we improve, not the fortunes we collect. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. May we all remember that while money can restore many things, only kindness, honesty, and love can truly restore a human heart.